I'll start the camera in there.
5:25? Okay, good.
Yeah.
Is, Okay, well, time being 5:25 on the 28th of July, we'll call zoning board meeting to order. And first thing I want to touch on is the minutes. I got a couple of just minor corrections that I think you need to look at. And some were just the way it reads. For example, on that first page on the bottom paragraph, where you're talking about stating to he himself, I would prefer that you put your own name in there, because it doesn't make any sense the way it was reading until later on in the paragraph.
Okay.
And you just say yourself, speaking, Darius Hassan speaking for himself.
Okay.
So to clear that up.
Okay.
Oh, on page 3 of 3, on the top paragraph, in the middle of that paragraph, the fourth line down, you say, even from the attorney's point of view. Up to that point, you haven't mentioned what attorney you're talking about, or that we're talking about, which is really Westcott.
Okay.
Okay, something needs to be clarified in that point as to, you can say the select board's attorney if you wish, and then use Westcott law or whatever you want to identify him.
Oh, right, okay, that was the select board's attorney, yep, got you.
Joey, what's the date of our next meeting?
August 16th.
August 16th?
Yeah.
Anything else?
Just one thing on the public notice. I just picked up the fact that you're showing that as Tuesday, July 28th. I don't think you meant that.
Oh, Thursday, July
Yeah,
28th.
okay.
Yeah, sorry. Well, that's the way it's posted, so if, I guess we have to determine whether that constitutes adequate posting. I apologize for the error. It does say July 28th.
It was a correct date, I think. That can
Okay.
stand on its own.
Okay,
And the same two people that were here for the hearing
true.
are here now, so I think that qualifies it
Okay.
to be good.
Yes.
I just happened to pick that up. Okay, so if anyone has anything else to add to relative to the minutes?
No.
You good? Okay, in that case, I'll make a motion that we approve the minutes of our last meeting on July 19th as amended.
Second.
We have a second, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, so show that's taken care of.
Water out the car. Need any? No, good, thanks.
So I guess the next thing is we can start getting in on a discussion relative to the possible rehearing of the case number 1601. Purpose of clarity. Jeff, was your name?
Jeremy.
Jeremy. What was your last name?
Perkins.
That's right. And also Lenny Burke, I guess we should have on there too. Well, boy, we delayed things. Thank you for coming.
No problem. You did awesome. Spectacular.
The record show now that we have a full board.
How you feeling? Good.
We have dealt with the minutes, we're just now. There's a copy of the letter from the attorney. If you want to peruse that, then just that, we can start on the conversation while she's reading over that. And I guess at this point, I'll open it up.
Guess you opened it up with something.
I guess I did. To the board members for their thoughts and ideas relative to this issue. Who wants to talk about it first?
Since you spoke to the attorney.
Okay, well, as you know, I spoke to the attorney, and you're now reading the letter. You have read the letter. And the attorney points out different avenues that we can take.
Right.
Which it all makes,
He recommends one of them.
and what he recommends as part of the suspension of the decision. That's his reasoning. The other ones still leave everything in limbo, if you will. And so does this one, but at least it's giving us a chance to redo the situation. And if we do that, we'll do it more specifically and cover each item very directly, and it'll be reflected in the minutes and stuff of the meeting itself. So it seems like that's the logical direction to take. But that being said, and really that's the gist of what he's saying here, and I'm reading it verbatim, I would ask now if you have any thoughts or anything you want to throw out there. If you have other questions, perhaps we can, Bob and I having gone to the attorney, if you have any questions as to other things, that would be a good time to bring them up before we make a motion or any final decision.
I'm not clear as to whether you take new testimony if you suspend it.
No.
That's where you don't.
There'll be no
You just-
testimony going
We
that
just
way.
use everything we had in front of us last night.
It will be as though they had finished their kind of show that they gave us relative to the situation, and we've now brought it back to the board. And we will be deliberating between us, and that will be the extent of the whole thing under that method. Okay. The meeting will have to be noticed and everything, just like it was a normal thing. So I mean, just that part of it will only be our show, not the complete application. And comfortable with that approach? Will you have any trouble making the meeting of the 16th of next month? That will be normal time, yeah, 6 o'clock. Yeah. And, yeah, nothing different, everything. And you mentioned there's going to be another case.
Yeah,
Is that going to be a variance or special
it's a
exception?
variance.
Variance.
It's to allow an additional unit. Do you want me to give additional
No,
details?
no, no,
Okay,
no,
all
it's
right.
not part of this.
All right.
You can tell me later, you
Okay.
know, as though I came and talked about it with
Is it a variance?
you. It is a variance, yes. Miranda, do you have anything, here you can put out there?
I think his suggestion was good, don't you?
Yes.
Number 3. It's probably the most logical course that we could take at this point in time. I have drafted a motion here that I would like to submit if the board has no other discussion at this time.
Can I hold you up just a moment? though?
Sure.
Do you feel that we should explain to our audience here what exactly option 3 is? Without, I won't read it directly, but I'll explain to you what it is, so when he uses the terminology, you'll understand. It's a suspension of the decision that was made at the meeting, meaning it goes into a state of limbo at this point in time. And then what'll happen is we will have another meeting of the 16th of August, that whereby we will rehear it, but only as far as the deliberative part of it, as far as the board goes. You don't have to make your case. There's nothing that you have to do. We'll just go over the criteria involved with the variance, and a new decision or not, there'll be a decision, but one way or the other will be made at that point in time. And that's our recommendation. We're working from with the attorney. Okay, are you clear on that? Okay, if you want to go ahead and make your motion,
The motion that I was going to make would be to suspend the variance granted for Mr. Jeremy Perkins, CBA case 16-01, on June 21, 2016, pending further consideration until this board meets, until this board's next regular meeting on August 16, 2016. A rehearing of case 16-01 shall be deliberative only by the board considering the evidence, facts, and testimony at hand to date. At that time, a new decision will be rendered, either for or against the variance appeal.
so stands the motion. Do we have a second? We have a second. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Unopposed? So stands. Okay, I think that pretty much concludes tonight's meeting. Everybody can go home and dwell on what we covered tonight. And,
Do you want to do a motion to adjourn before I shut off the?
yes, we can go ahead and do a motion to adjourn.
Electronics.
So moved.
Okay, so moved. Shut her down.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.